So how long in total did it take to do the book from campaign to fulfillment? How long?
Well, we just launched yesterday. Yesterday was our big launch day.
Yeah.
So we finally got the book all done.
9 years
Yeah.
from the campaign closing to when it launched.
Yeah.
So the estimated delivery date was January 2013, and instead we delivered basically just shy of January 2022.
Yeah. So this is I love it because I mean it's terrible to have a late book. I have a late book. That's why I'm like so like I know that's like having a late book. This book is technically, we said we were going to fulfill it in January of last year, so we're almost at a year overdue, and that is that it just feels awful. Yeah. But it's like one of those things that there are things that come up, I guess. Especially anyway. So
my thing is now you can just be like, oh, COVID, you guys know, and everyone's like, oh yeah. No further explanation needed. For the most part, people are super patient and understanding. I think a big thing has just been putting out updates on the campaign, and so they know that like I'm not in wherever I could be, like Puerto Rico or whatever. I could. When you look at the size of especially this project, it's like, wow, it's massive. So congrats for getting it done. That's huge. Well, thanks. It was definitely something that we like I said, it's been my passion project ever since I was a kid, and then we've been very passionate about for the last many years, and and it's just something that I was like, you know what, I love this project. It's our passion project, and we're not gonna this is one of the things that we feel is kind of a purpose for us in a way, and so I wouldn't be happy if I gave up on this. I love the story and I love the characters, and so it's
right. Yeah.
And I think when we, when we fulfilled this, Kickstarter was a different time. People still weren't sure what Kickstarter was. They felt like it still was just a store. Like, hey, I paid for this. Why don't I have a product yet? Yeah. And people still feel that way, even with all the disclaimers on Kickstarter that say it isn't. You're funding.
It's not really a pre-order
the potential project to happen. There were definitely people who were running Kickstarter like a scam at the time, and so
and there still are. I mean, there's scams that come around for sure.
Yeah, so we were always aware of that. It was always something that we're like, we do not want to get labeled as that, and so we were always upfront with like, hey, this is where we're at. This is what's gotten done. This is why we have a big holdup, because we had things going on where, yes, there was what looked like substantial money for a campaign, but when you're looking at the sheer amount of work we wanted to try and get done, people are getting $9,000 or $10,000 now to fund a single issue, and we got $12,000 to fund the equivalent of 6. Right. And now, the equivalent of 6 20-page issues. Yeah. And we just have 4 oversized issues.
Right.
And Quinn wasn't getting paid. I wasn't getting paid for any of that work. That was us. That covered us to basically pay an inker when I wasn't inking, a colorist. Quinn did all the lettering, and basically to help offset any additional print costs and shipping when it came down to that. But even in 10 years, can you imagine how much shipping has exponentially raised,
in 1 year, just the past year.
In 1 year.
It has gone crazy.